it's Donovan, and welcome back to episode 8. Can you believe it? We made it that far of the special hour. I am, of course, joined by my co-host, Mr. Dean.
What's up? I really like how every single time we make a note of what episode it is, and we act flabbergasted that we're still
like, whoa, the show, how the hell are we still doing this?
The show hasn't been canceled because of poor viewership or anything. So yeah, thank you so much to everyone that's been watching.
Talking about emulators.
Donovan, why did you have to bring that up?
This is our final episode, guys. Anyways, we are also joined by a very special guest today, our YouTuber known as Try.
Hey y'all, Try here. Sorry, no, that's not me. I stole that.
Wait, wrong guy.
I love the YouTuber intro right there.
Yeah.
Try is
Try. That's my version. So
Try is everyone's favorite Nintendo UI critiquer. So if anyone's unfamiliar with his work, that may be something that you've seen and you didn't even realize that was him. So yeah, Try, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I was exhausted all weekend. I actually took a nap. I needed to rest.
Oh,
so
it was like a power nap, or
yeah,
oh, that's
crazy.
Just
a little, hour 15,
nice.
guy. I'm feeling great right now. I'm drinking a Coke Zero, and I'm just ready to conquer the rest of Sunday.
Okay, awesome. Did anything interesting happen over the past week?
I got diagnosed with ADHD. That was pretty cool.
Oh, wait, actually.
Medication. Genuinely, pretty big life events.
Wow, wow.
I beat the Ender Dragon with my community in our Minecraft server.
Okay.
Oh, this is a very eventful past week.
We did a t-shirt contest wrapped up, and we got 3 winners. So yeah, a lot happened actually. It was very busy.
Wow. Okay. I feel like a loser right now.
No. Don't even trip. Don't even.
Donovan, what did you do over the past week?
Oh, I was enjoying myself playing and finishing. I finally finished Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Very good.
Great experience. I already talked about this in the last podcast, but this was filmed in the same week. I was employed.
Hey,
let that sink in really quick.
There you go.
Let that.
Should I center that in the record or in the editing?
Oh, please.
A job.
Hey, what have you been doing?
This past week, or mainly the past 2 days, I've been very out of my house, actually beating the really Nintendo good. YouTuber allegations.
Really good.
What I mean? The gamer allegations in general.
Just the gamer allegations. Last night, me and a few friends did some karaoke for his birthday. That was awesome. A lot of fun. Mm. And before that, oh, you said what song? Well, it wasn't one song specifically. I did some Bruno Mars. It's a classic. Specifically, if anyone's wondering what song, did Count on Me. It was really fun. Actually, it was really funny because one of my friends who was there, I sang it with her boyfriend.
Nice.
That's an awesome third wheel.
Did you hit those high notes?
It was an awesome third wheel.
Did you hit those high notes?
I would perform it right now, but it would be so accurate that we would get copyrighted, so I just can't perform it right now. But I do think I did really good with that.
I trust you were pitch perfect.
I was like Charlie Puth out there. I had perfect pitch. And then right before that, I was in a pickleball tournament too.
What? So I love pickleball. I didn't know you played pickleball.
So Donovan does not like pickleball. So
are you doing the
okay? No. I don't hate pickleball. I'm just a tennis player.
I used to be a tennis player, and I switched because.
See, he's one of the sensible ones. He's one of the sensible ones,
right?
And also,
they're pulling you in the cult.
No, I'm not in the cult, 100%. It's too accessible. I'm sorry.
It's too accessible.
All the people
are. It's for the people like us that aren't athletic enough to do tennis. So we need a step down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I never got good at tennis, so.
I think I mentioned this in our first episode, but actually I tried out for my high school tennis team and didn't make it, so I'm just kind of salty to this day because of that.
So my tennis team, they needed me because they just didn't have enough people, and we'd go against. We were the worst school by far. It wasn't even close. So I was one of the best in our team, which meant I was absolute. Probably wouldn't even have made team any other high school. So I got smoked every
doubles
every
or singles.
At least you were on your team. You at least made the team.
That's
so
true.
That's more than I can say. But anyway, that was a very long intro. So sorry to anyone that's just snoring right now.
Yeah, Try is a decently new on the YouTube scene. I believe you've made your channel like far sooner than either of us have. Could you tell us your experience on YouTube so far and how you've built up this identity, you could say?
Yeah, so I've been watching YouTube since probably 2012, 12 or 13. So, 10 plus years consuming video game and especially Nintendo content. But it wasn't until January of this year, 2025, that I was like, let's like actually try it myself. Let's actually like do something. And I think I was just watching a lot of content and thinking about the skills I learned in college, video editing, graphic design, branding, and I was just like, I think I can actually like do that. And so I don't know why. Well, I do know a couple reasons why. So January, I also was like, Switch 2's coming out this year. Like, I feel like that's a good time to kind of hop in, calm before the storm. And so that's kind of why I decided to start. And I don't know, it's been kind of a wild ride since then.
And so was that kind of like a gradual decision? Because I know you said like you watched videos for a long time. So was this maybe like even a year or so before you actually uploaded your first video that you were like kind of tossing and turning about making a channel, or like thinking about what kind of videos you would want to make? Or was it like one day you woke up and you're like, let's just do this. Let's just make a channel and start uploading?
It was actually more the latter. So
wow, okay. I did not think it would be the latter.
Yeah, no, I actually never thought I would ever be a YouTuber. Like I'm surprised it never crossed my mind considering how much content I consumed on YouTube. But I was thinking about my career, what I wanted to do, and kind of the UX job market right now, it's not great. It's rough. I'm not even doing a UX job right now. I'm doing a design job, but not a UX job, which I would prefer. And so I was like thinking of a creative outlet to actually use my degree in, and YouTube was kind of at the top of the list. And as soon as I thought about it, I was like, I went all in immediately. So I started thinking about, a brand that I could create for myself. I thought of different like usernames for myself. Like I've always been, Triforce Hunter or Try Hunter or Try in a lot of the things that I've done, like games and stuff like that. So I kind of already knew what name I was going to go with, but in terms of building like a persona, character around that, I was like leaning towards like a piece of the Triforce, something really simple. I thought about Mickey Mouse and like how Disney does things, and just a lot of like, you kind of want to create a very, very simple and recognizable character. And I feel like you can't really get more simple than a triangle with 2 dots. So
you kind of thought about a brand pretty early on.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you made this
before I even posted a video. So I immediately went to a brand for myself. I love Scott the Waz's border, so I thought of like a fun border that could be cool. And the rainbow gradient actually came from one of my favorite bands. May is their name, and they posted something that had the exact same gradient. And so I yoinked that. I said, that's a nice gradient. I'm going to use that in my border. So little insight there.
I was thinking, there's not many like gamer YouTubers that kind of go into like UX design or interfaces of operating systems or just the UIs of different games. And I always, found that design aspect of not just game development, but software development, super intriguing. So when I found your channel, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Like nerdy Nintendo stuff, but like focusing on their like software design, sign me up. And I was just really intrigued by your channel and how you dive. I think the video that hooked me onto your channel was a video about the Nintendo eShop. I think you were redesigning it for the Nintendo Switch 2, and I always found like, I think this guy knows what he's talking about. Like, but you should, because you have a degree in this, and that just adds further credibility. And I'm just like, I don't know any other gaming related YouTuber that does this. So I just found that really cool about you.
Thank you. Yeah, I talk like I know what I'm talking about. And I think there are some things to back stuff up, but a lot of it is definitely opinion. Me. So a lot of it's, yeah. I hope no one's thinking like this guy is like matter of fact, like you gotta, no. We're all users in the end, and we all, have our own thing that works for us.
And so at the beginning, whenever you started making videos, even though you had experience, whether it be with your degree or any other like previous studies that you did with graphic design, was there ever kind of that sense of like imposter syndrome as you were like kind of gaining the confidence of knowing like, I know what I'm talking about in this specific niche of like content? Because I know like that's something at least I personally dealt with, especially at the beginning, where it's like, even though like I had a lot of practice with like the type of stuff I was making, there was always that feeling of like, I feel like I'm not actually equipped to be doing this kind of thing. So did you ever have that kind of thing to deal with whenever you first started out?
Oh, 100%. I don't even think it's just about being a YouTuber, but a designer in general. Designers, it's so weird. Designers really have imposter syndrome. Like, we never are fully confident in ourselves. And it's kind of unfortunate because a lot of jaded designers will almost like pick on new design, not pick on them, but be like, you know, why are you doing this and this and this? And so it kind of adds to the imposter syndrome. I've even gotten like comments here or there of people saying like, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. And to me, it doesn't really affect me. You kind of grow the thick skin by just like having professors, and professors are great in training you for that. They do it from a place of love, but they still will not hold back when it comes to critique. And so it's kind of just slides off my back. And I'm like, instead I use that as an opportunity to say, hey, that's great feedback. Like, I didn't know those things. I'm still pretty new. And usually people will respond on YouTube with, oh, I didn't even know that you were going to respond. I'm sorry if that came off harsh at all. And they'll kind of check themselves because they just, you know, wrote this angry comment or whatever without thinking about it. And so that's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of worked out two ways. One, I get some actual like good feedback from someone that does know what they're talking about. And two, they realize like, oh, this guy's really passionate and he actually cares. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, well, and that's something I always find so interesting with any kind of creative field or thing that you work on that deals with graphic design. For me, a lot of it comes down to like script writing. I had a professor for a screenwriting class, and that was one of the things that he kind of nailed down in us as students was at the end of the day, obviously there's techniques that we follow. There's different like things that we keep in mind whenever writing a script, but there isn't a quote unquote right or wrong script at the end of the day. Yep. So I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand with graphic design. Where obviously, you know, you have things to keep in mind. You have like the way you use color, how you space things, all that kind of stuff. Sure. But like if something looks good truly to you, then like who is someone else at the end of the day to say that it is like objectively bad design? Right. You know what I mean?
Right. I have I'm studying architecture, and you know, all the time throughout the school year, you know, you're just iterating and changing up, you know, the design process of how you want this building to be, or how you want, you know, the experience to feel like once you're entering it. And you know, there's always times when a professor would come in and you know, you got to critique. We always do critiques at the end of, you know, every project, or even in the middle of the project. The professor will always come up and critique the project, and sometimes, you know, they're very nice comments, but sometimes, you know, they're brutally honest. And I don't take that as you know, just like a slight against me. Sure. Or although, you know, some professors are actually, you know, they actually mean malice. Yeah. But in the case of my professors, you know, I took it as, you know, constructive criticism that like something is wrong with my thought process, and you know, I think I need to refine my work to better suit either what the professor desires or what the professor's trying to, you know, teach me and get something out of me, something to like break me out of my shell. And you know, I always took, you know, these criticisms as, you know, ways of helping me learn and build myself up, and you know. And also, school's starting soon, and I have to really start getting back in the mindset.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of learn to love the feedback process. You learn to like get excited about, okay, I've been staring at my design or my whatever for so long, I don't know what to do anymore. I can't wait to see someone kind of break it apart and help me build it back up to be something better.
At one point, I was designing a building, and I thought I was so headstrong on this idea, like nothing could ever change my approach. But then my professor, you know, came up to me and was, you know, suggesting, you know, get this pink foam sheet and just start cutting out different shapes for this building. If there's anything you can think of, just throw it at the wall, And what I realized from that is like, don't stick with your very first idea.
Yeah.
You always got to iterate. So.
Right.
I used that in a job interview and it didn't work.
Oh, well, that is really good. Because, sometimes your first idea is the best. But like graphic design, we'd do a logo and we'd make 50 sketches because sometimes it's the 30th or the 45th or the 50th that is the best idea. So you never know.
Yeah, well, and that's what I always say to people. And like, I've had friends or other people ask sometimes that's like not even any specific thing that they're trying to work on, but they're like, I don't really know where to get started with what I'm trying to do. So in this case, we can use YouTube just as a vessel for what we're talking about.
Sure.
But this could go out to anyone listening to this who maybe wants to learn how to do graphic design, how to write, how to edit, any of that kind of stuff. And I think a really important thing to remember, and this kind of goes to what Donovan was just saying, but a lot of the time, the first thing that you work on is probably gonna suck, and that's part of the beauty of it. Like that's really not, in my opinion, it's easy because I was the same way whenever I first started. Like that was part of the reason I was scared of trying something new. But then in hindsight, once you do it over and over again, that's like what makes it such a beautiful hobby to get into, because you get to see the progression of where you started and where you're at now. So yeah, I definitely think that it is really cool to think about, like, just even as recently as like the first video that you uploaded to where you're at now. I'm sure that there's little things that you've noticed with like the workflow of your videos where if you look back on the first video you made, you're like what was I doing here? Like,
no, you're 100% correct on that. Like I've even started looking at my portfolio and adding some of my YouTube videos to it. And there's some things that like I'll look at my old UX video, like my first UX video that did really well, and be like, what was I thinking here? And so I think that's just how it is. And it's cool that I haven't even been able to see that with just, a couple months of video making. My first 2 videos I made in After Effects, which is just not meant
that's
for
wild.
Big videos and stuff like that. Yeah, I used After
Was there
Effects.
A reason why?
So I took motion design twice, loved it so much, and we were in After Effects. And so I was like, this is going to be my video editing software. And the more you put in After Effects, the worse it gets. It is just a bad program for like massive scale like it's not meant for video editing. And so it took me till video 3 to realize that Premiere is what I should be using.
For anyone that doesn't edit, After Effects is not the easiest one to just throw yourself.
It's great for motion, little motion things. Like my outro was made in After Effects, and it's the perfect thing for an outro, but not anything else.
I would love to learn After Effects. I've been taught it like a couple times during my digital imaging class, but it feels so
daunting,
say alien.
Yeah,
towards,
it's incredibly difficult compared to
like I would think they would feel similar, but it's
pretty
confusing to me.
It's a rough program. The way they do layers and handle timeline is very, very foreign. For sure.
Yeah, well, and it goes beyond that too, because I remember whenever I used After Effects to make my like background overlay, like folding paper thing that I have in some of my videos, there was a certain like almost code that I had to put in to like one of the effects. I don't even know how to describe it. Yeah, it's
weird. I still don't know what it is either, but I look it up every time, and I'm like, I guess I'll just put this in, see what happens.
And it was sorry to anyone that is bored right now.
Everyone's like, what is an After Effects?
I imagine that After Effects is not the most interesting topic to anyone that's not into editing. But so one other thing I was interested in is I know you mentioned earlier that what like the position that you do aside from YouTube is kind of also in the graphic design realm. And I know with some other people I've talked to, this is something that they deal with where it can kind of lead to burnout, where if you have multiple positions that are in a similar field, and you don't have like a hobby on the side or something that kind of like gets your mind off of it, it's very easy to get just, burnt out from what it is that you're doing. So is there anything that you've done, or maybe in your case, like you're just built different and that isn't even necessary? Like, is there anything that you've learned from doing 2 very similar positions?
Is this between like my job and YouTube? as the two positions.
Your job was graphic design, right?
Yeah. So I guess I'll go a little bit into what my job is in real life. Full-time job. It's packaging. I basically take art from other companies, literally anything. It could be dog food, it could be produce, it could be whatever. And artists will send us files, and we'll take those files, put it back into Illustrator, and format it to be ready for mass printing. And so there's a lot more steps than I thought there would need to be to take the artwork of, other companies and like get it in a way that's ready for print. So that's what I do, though. It's very objective. There's no real agency or choice involved on my end, or like creativity. And so it creates a pretty big void of me wanting to have a creative outlet. And YouTube is actually that thing for me. So YouTube does take a lot of time. And so that's the burnout, I think, comes from just pure like hours spent on work and YouTube combined. But genuinely, when I work on YouTube, I don't feel like, it just feels great. Like I don't. Yeah,
that's great.
It feels like the hobby. So, and I think that's a good place for YouTube to be. I think if it does become a job, I think it'll eventually become a place where I might get burned out. But at least for now, making a video once a week, I'm able to find enough topics and things to talk about that it's just been good.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad to hear that, because that's something I've always been concerned about. Because I've never worked like a similar job while doing my channel before, so I haven't run into that obstacle. But I could definitely see that being, something that, depending on your personality or like what other hobbies you're doing on the side to like kind of, keep yourself like sane with a good work-life balance.
Yeah, and I definitely think you need to inject some, like you were saying, go outside, go touch grass, go, you need those things. You need your family time. You need that stuff. And that's something that I am right now trying to figure out, because it's...
I think you're stressing hard. Donovan out right now.
Don't say those words around me.
Work-life balance.
Well, Donovan, was there anything else that you had on your mind about like Try's YouTube journey? Okay. Wait, Donovan, are you still here?
Hold on, I'm back.
Okay.
I heard children in the background. I heard family.
Yeah, we're having people over and they're figuring out the printer. And I was fixing it before this.
I said,
but yeah, wait, what were you asking?
do you want me to like segue into the next topic, or?
Oh, I have like three questions that
okay, go for it.
I'll talk about. They're all kind of related to like design. All right, favorite Nintendo operating system?
3DS. It's gonna be 3DS.
Mm-hmm. That's what I say too.
Pretty easy, yeah.
I know you were specifically writing these for Try, but am I like just for like participation? Am I allowed?
Yeah,
you
can.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll all answer. Yeah,
okay.
We'll all
just
answer.
for fun. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wait. Try. Did you want to elaborate on why 3DS? Though?
Yeah. So 3DS it's probably just my favorite console besides the Switch. It has the most personalization to it, and like it really feels like your own. I wish that the US got those like back plates that you could swap out. I think that was Japan only. But being able to like have themes that affected folders, and like folders were such a great thing to have directly on one screen. And they really had to do something like, because the screen was small. I feel like the Switch's interface is like, it's so much bigger, and they could have something like folders, and they do, it's groups, but anyway, I go into that in my video, but you know what I mean. I think the 3DS just did it really, really well.
I think a Try crash out almost happened there.
Oh yeah, it definitely did. Yeah, I'm on. I almost just derailed this whole thing.
I love in real time.
I'm glad I stopped.
I love seeing you hold yourself there. Oh, I was just gonna say 3DS is definitely my second pick, and then my personal favorite is the Wii.
Yeah,
I've always just loved.
Second.
Yeah, I've always just, like, not even just function. I think 3DS is better functionally than the Wii, but there's just something so novel about the whole TV channel aesthetic of, like, what the Wii was doing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also set the 3DS mainly because of how much personalization you can get. Like I made a whole video on all these operating systems,
Nice.
so I was
That's
just
awesome.
super intrigued by it. Like with the 3DS, you got the theme shop, but you also got the Nintendo Badge Arcade,
Right,
something that was
right.
baked into the operating system, and it worked so seamlessly, and it all just worked really well.
Wait,
My
you
only
don't
gripe.
You don't like how the Switch lets you choose black or white for the themes?
Basic black or basic white. I'm gonna go insane. But I just think my only critique of the 3DS operating system would be its speed. It's not as egregious as the Wii U. Here's our daily mention of trash talking the Wii U. But I just think, there's some moments where it just chugs. Like, for example, this was worse on the Wii U, but on the 3DS, you press the home button. On my regular 3DS model, it would probably take 2 to 3 seconds to actually open up the home menu, whereas the Nintendo Switch, press the home button and you're instantly at the home menu.
Right.
So there's just little things where it's it could load a little bit faster, especially with this eShop and also the 3DS eShop. I mean, I spent ages just in there.
3DS eShop
the 3DS
was a great
eShop was a
eShop.
real place.
It was a great
If it was a real place, I'd be staying there all the
I
time.
loved it.
But
That's how I found out about Nintendo Directs.
3DS was a jam.
From the 3DS eShop. So
Oh, really?
yeah, because they uploaded the videos there. And so the very first one just showed up, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" And I was like, "This is now my passion."
Yeah, the 3DS eShop is definitely the best eShop that Nintendo
I loved
has produced. Donovan,
Yeah.
what was your other 2 questions?
My second one was, since you went into packaging a little bit, what are your thoughts? Everyone's thoughts on Nintendo Switch 2's packaging, like the game case.
Oh, I thought you were asking about the box because there was that thing on Twitter where people were like, it looks too similar.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we
well,
could
the
also talk,
staples too.
the general branding of the Switch 2.
Oh, okay.
Like the logo, the game, the game case, the box itself, I don't know, accessories.
I feel like Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour started to sell me on it more. Because I was kind of in the camp of it's a little too similar. I really love the way the Switch 2 actually looks, and the Joy-Con 2. I feel like they're so clean. I love the black. But I am curious about the red and the blue, on the inside. Because that's baked into the actual console itself on the Joy-Con and also inside of the console. So I'm thinking are we never getting colors? We haven't seen anything about Joy-Con 2 color yet, and so I'm how's that gonna work? Are we just gonna have to see a little bit of red with our our pink or our green, or I don't know, stuff like that? Just really, I'm curious about.
Yeah, I feel those colors, I think they're gonna stick for a while. It's definitely gonna be the default option, as it's always gonna be that. But I feel maybe for special editions, they'll definitely change the color. The weird thing is, if I buy say they release a yellow Joy-Con 2, the inside of the Switch 2, it's still gonna be red and blue.
Yeah.
It's just baked in. It's glued onto the console itself. So it just my OCD is killing me.
Right, yeah. So I'm how much is that actually going to be a big deal? If the controller snaps in, will I even be able to notice? I don't know, but it is interesting.
In my very unprofessional opinion, it doesn't, if that were the case where it was just red and blue, it wouldn't bother me that much. I mean, obviously I do like having, how the Switch had an overwhelming amount of color coordination potential.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, just the way the Switch 2 looks is just so sleek and
very much.
just optimized for the eye. I don't know, it looks so just good.
A lot of people have problems with how the logo has been placed because it's just the Switch logo, but with a 2 just jammed into,
just slap it on there.
The main hieroglyph.
Wait, you're telling me they put a 2 on Nintendo Switch 2?
What? Guys, is this the sequel to the Switch 2? I don't know.
Wait,
I don't know.
no.
It could be an add-on. It could be an add-on.
Wait, try. What are your professional thoughts on that?
I don't know. It's a 2. I think it works for the system. I wish it was called the Super Switch, but I totally understand from like a brand marketing perspective why it had to be called the Switch 2 instead of the Switch U. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, no, I wasn't asking like what are your thoughts on them calling it the Switch 2, more so like how they placed the 2 on the
how
logo.
they did the 2. It's kind of hard to like think of a better way to do it. I don't know.
Yeah,
okay.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't
pretty iconic and good. It's the 2 Joy-Cons, and the Switch 2 also has Joy-Cons. So what else do you do besides put a 2 on it? I don't know.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like being a dumbass or something.
No.
Like, I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
I'd have
so
to
I'm
go
not going
like
crazy.
hard.
The 2 is fine.
Yeah,
okay.
just like asking me right now, I could not tell you because I'd have to like spend weeks probably trying to think of some alternative, really like genius solution, and it's just not gonna. I just can't right now, and I haven't before.
Yeah, I was thinking of like how they could have done it differently, but the more I was thinking about it, like it has to be on the game case, the spine, and it also has to be on the controller. So like, how would you best configure? Where would you put that to? Would you put it next to the Switch hieroglyph, or would you put it after the text? Or like, how would you do that? And then how would that fit on the spine?
At the end of the day, as we've learned from the Wii U generation, it's very easy for Nintendo to do a poor job at giving the consumer a clear idea of what the console is.
Right.
And I think that they're trying their best not to botch the message of what the Switch 2 actually is. So
yeah, that's exactly right.
I think the fact that you look at it and it's like, oh, this is the Nintendo Switch 2, that's what it needs to be, and it performs that.
You can't get more clear than that. I mean, because you even think about it and you're like, oh, but it'd be nicer if the Switch logo icon was centered above Nintendo Switch and the 2 was after the text. But it's like, yeah, but then your 2 is smaller
some people
and it's going to look way too similar to the first one. Having that giant 2 up top, it also creates this nice, like, perfect little square. Like, that's kind of a nice little shape they've been able to create by aligning things that way. So,
what was your final
one last question? Yeah. This is for everyone again. What do you like more in like UI design? Do you like a more skeuomorphic design or abstract minimalism?
What just happened? What?
I'm sorry. we're getting off topic of Nintendo a little bit, but the idea of skeuomorphism is bringing like real world elements into like a digital landscape. So for example, the channels on like the Wii, or maybe for like the old YouTube icon, it was a TV. And then abstract minimalism is, what we got today with more, abstract looking things. People think like buttons don't actually look like buttons. They're more accentuated by, the shape and color.
Yeah, try this one. More? This one's all you try. I'm clocked out right now.
No, you're good. Yeah, definitely the skeuomorphic thing. I think it's a pendulum. We kind of like go back and forth between styles just in design in general. And I feel like right now we're in that, we're kind of breaking out of that like really minimalist look. Just I think anyway. I feel like there's been a lot of pushback. You think about logo design, you think about the Pringles man losing his hair, losing his, you know what I mean? Losing everything. You think about what's another example? There's a ton anyway of just everything becoming way, way, way more simple. And people are really pushing back. They're missing the character that we used to have. They don't want to be, the gray piece of paper and look like everything else. So I think it's pushing more in that direction, and I definitely prefer that direction because the Switch and the Switch 2 UI, they get the job done, but I can't tell I'm on a Nintendo console, and I feel like I should. And so the original Xbox is one example that I really love to bring up because it felt alien and like it felt like the name Xbox. Like, what the heck is that? With its like very like green chromatic look, and like it felt alien, and it's awesome. Like I love stuff like that. So
I feel like I've been brainwashed by my architecture school. It was made by a very like a pioneer of like minimalism. So I feel like I think skeuomorphism works in like specific scenarios. If you're trying to be like more cutesy or scrappy, I feel like skeuomorphism works really well. But in terms of like just everyday graphical interfaces, and if you want to be like professional about it, I feel like the minimalist style just works better to communicate more clear ideas. Though I think if you go like way too far minimalist, where you lose the
identity.
hair of the Pringles guy, Yeah, I feel like that's where it becomes like it just becomes like mush,
Right.
where it does not make sense at all, and you're just losing detail. I think a good like balance between the two is I feel like still having that minimalist feel, but adding like extra like sort of details to like iconography or to buttons, adding maybe like a glossy shimmer around the button. That's kind of what UI design's kind of leaning towards this year. But adding those like extra flares of reality make minimalism pop a little bit more than just a flat colorless plane.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Mr.
I think
D?
balance is exactly right. And I think in the sense of like games and gaming, games are fun. Games are supposed to like provoke excitement and get you excited and like have motion and move. And so you should have kind of that form or that skeuomorphic. I don't think I'm saying that right, but you should have more of that. And I feel like Nintendo does a great job of it. If you look at any of their game websites, they're so good. They're so well done. Luigi's Mansion 3 comes to mind as one that's just like laid out super well. It's still clear. It still has a lot of those things that make like good modern UI good, of like, legibility and being able to like understand where you are. But there's so many fun design choices that are added to it. Like I remember the Gooigi section, they have like an actual wall of like goo that like creates the section for talking about it. Stuff like that. Like it's just like you need more of that for a game that's supposed to be fun and exciting.
I think I understood about 3% of the last 5 minutes. But yeah, I agree, guys. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
Oh yeah. Great talk.
100%.
All right, I think it's time to move on to everyone's favorite game releasing soon, Drag and Drive.
Did you play the Global Jam?
I didn't. But this is going to be my video for this upcoming week, and so I'm going to be playing a lot of it. And I'm based on the online reaction. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get into it.
So I was not able to play any of the times, but Donovan, just go ahead and get your rant on. About
I'm
Dragon
insane. I had a free schedule yesterday, and I played the Global Jam, and there's some games like Rocket League that I wish this game could have leaned more towards, maybe having a little bit more personality, because this game, it's pretty bare bones. Other than the kind of unique concept, there's kind of like nothing else really. The idea of wheelchair basketball is fun. I feel like you can get a lot out of the controls, using the Joy-Con 2 as mouse. That's a pretty novel idea. The problem is,
did you notice any pain while you were playing?
A lot of
I
people
did see
said
some
pain.
comments about that.
Oh, I mean, in order to go fast, you gotta slide the Joy-Con really far if you want to get optimal speed. Maybe my arms were a little bit fatigued, but like there's nothing painful. I mean, I'm not like banging my Joy-Cons on the table or like throwing them around when I'm shooting a basketball. Nothing like that. I'm not LeBron James of Drag and Drive.
Sounds like you're not good enough at the game. That's what
clearly I have a skill issue. Whoever is the LeBron James of Drag and Drive, I condemn you. But like, there's nothing else to the game really. There's some time trial thing I believe that I never tried out, where you can drive around the park, is what it's called. All the rooms are called parks, and you're stuffed in with 12 people, and you will be playing with those 12 people for forever until you decide to leave that park and go to another one, which I feel is a little bit odd. The park is kind of like a main hub area. It's so gray and lifeless and empty and sad inside.
Oh my, like Donovan!
This game,
I wasn't ripping into the game that hard.
I just feel like if they had something more exciting, maybe they had cooler character designs, it would have been more intriguing. If they used Mii's, I feel like that would have instantly upped the game's notoriety.
I feel like that would,
I don't know,
that would be
cool robots for some reason. You can drive as the C words.
Just like
sorry, I know what you're referencing,
like,
so that's just really funny.
Oh yeah. But Yeah, there's nothing much to it. It's a decent basketball game, I guess.
You said you were excited for it?
Oh, yeah.
Was that satire?
No. So I'm going to be making I played this game so you don't have to video. Like my Switch 2 welcome tour. And so...
Which, by the way, those kind of videos insinuate that it's not good.
Yeah, 100%. I'm so excited to make the video, though. Like, it's like, it's so fun to, like, rip on stuff, but in a lighthearted way.
Okay,
and, like,
okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing right now is you're excited to make a video about the game and not the game itself.
Oh my gosh, no. If I wasn't a YouTuber, I would have never looked at this game.
Okay,
I would have
I
spat in
completely
its
get that
face.
mindset. I'm a masochist. I've watched a terrible movie 2 days ago.
Everything makes so much sense now.
I've heard
of
it.
it.
Awful.
Yeah. Is it
and
Ice
don't
Cube?
even talk about Transformers 5. It is Ice Cube.
Yep. I've heard things.
No, I remember hearing this from YouTubers way back whenever the original Switch came out and like 1-2 Switch was releasing, and people were like, I cannot wait for this game to come out so that way I can make videos about it.
Yep.
Like it's a very similar thing.
I'm in that camp now.
Yeah, I will also, and obviously this isn't directly like graphic design or UI, but given that you have a focus on, for a lack of better terms, like visuals, like what are your thoughts on the very just like drab art style that they decided to go for?
Yeah, I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. It's drab.
Oh, okay, there we
it
go.
doesn't feel like
Sad,
Nintendo at all.
depressing.
I directly compared it to ARMS, which like you can complain about the gameplay of ARMS and like playing ARMS for a long time, but it has so much charms. You know what I'm saying? Charms, ARMS. It's so good. It's like it has an identity. The characters feel unique.
I did not realize the pun that you just did there.
I was quick with
Incredible.
it. I had to kind of slow
Yeah,
down.
Drag and Drive is no arms. It's no arms. It does involve your arms a lot, maybe more so than the
more
arms
than
game
arms.
itself. But it's a game that exists. It's
Yeah.
$20, I believe.
I'm
There's
so
many
happy
other
it's
indie games
$20.
that you can buy over
Very
this.
happy it's 20.
If it was a tech demo that was just like a part of the system in a very similar vein to like Astro's Playroom
Or
over
Face
on
Raiders or
PlayStation,
something,
yeah, I would be more excited about it. I just don't see myself shelling $20.
I think
for
that
it,
and
just
Welcome
based
Tour
on what
would
I've
be seen so much more like favorably.
Oh, for
if
sure,
it
especially
was
because
packing.
Welcome Tour.
not bad.
I didn't play it. But yeah, from the reviews I watched on YouTube, it seemed like people enjoyed their time with Welcome Tour. It was
wasn't
more
bad.
just the principle of them charging for it.
Exactly. That's it. That's 100% correct.
Yeah, but I think like if Drag and Drive was like, all right, here's a way for you to see for yourself what the mouse controls of the Switch 2 are and what they're like, and you get to test it out with a fun little like wheelchair basketball game, then it'd be like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Like, you know, but like you said, like you're glad it was $20. I agree. Like I'm glad they're not charging $80 for this. That would be something else.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I definitely think it looks like gameplay wise, if you're playing with friends or something, it looks like it'd be a fun game, but it's just not something I'm really excited about.
I feel like if they lean more into chaos and like adding more like weird wacky stuff happening on the
Powers or
court,
something.
I feel like then something.
Imagine
I
it
feel
was like
that
a Mario
would be cooler.
sports game where there's like items being
Yeah,
thrown
if you can
around.
Just add Mario.
If you can throw stuff, why can't
Disable
you like
him.
actually throw a banana peel or something like that? Like,
That'd
just
be awesome.
Actually yuck it, you know.
All right, so now Nintendo's gonna charge $30 for paid DLC for the item mode.
For all 5 people that played.
Before we get into questions, we just wanted to really quickly see like what our thoughts were on what Nintendo is doing exactly for this holiday season for the Switch 2. So like, what is there any certain game that you think maybe that they have up their sleeve that they haven't revealed yet for the holiday season? If so, I do feel like now would be a very late time to be announcing something, but it just seems like there hasn't really been a ton revealed for, aside from, you know, Metroid obviously, and you got Pokemon and Kirby Air Riders coming out. Is Kirby Air Riders this or next year?
Should be this year.
Okay, so I guess so we got Kirby Air Riders and we got, assuming that Metroid Prime 4 comes out this year, but do you think that they have anything else kind of like hiding up their sleeve, even though it's already August?
I think they're relying on third parties. Because I don't need another big Nintendo game to come. I'd love one, but I'm probably getting Silk Song and Hades too. And that's going to be like huge on the Switch too. So I personally don't need one. I did think there was going to be a light switch when we went from Switch 1 to Switch 2, and I don't know why I thought that, because they always try to transition and phase the previous console out. 3DS, the same thing happened, where we got a lot of 3DS announcements in the first year of Switch 1, and so Switch 1 year didn't feel quite as big of a blowout.
We had a Tomodachi Life.
Yeah, that's true, but that's also a Switch 1 game. Oh, you're saying for 3DS.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I meant like they announced Tomodachi Life Living the Dream.
Right. Yeah.
For
exactly
both Switch 1 and
so
Switch
I don't know. And before we got any Switch 2 Direct or anything, I don't know why I assumed that, like, okay, we're just going to get a cutoff, but no. It makes sense that why they're doing it this way. The base for Switch 1 is still way too big. But that means that Switch 2 exclusives suffer a little bit from that. You know, you mentioned Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon, and that's also coming to Switch 1. And it's like, it doesn't it shouldn't hurt the impact, but it kind of feels like it does, you know, just like knowing that, like, I could play this on my 2017 system. But we still got good games, you know. We got Mario Kart, we got Donkey Kong, and we got Mario Kart and Donkey Kong and Mario.
And we got
Kart,
Mario Kart and Donkey Kong too,
and Kirby Air Riders, which is also a Mario racing game, or a Nintendo racing game. I think that next year is going to be kind of the official Switch 2's time year. So
yeah, well, I definitely agree. And I also forgot about Splatoon Raiders too.
Oh yeah, Splatoon Raiders, 100%.
But that is a good point that you brought up about how Metroid Prime and Pokemon Legends are going to be dual releases on both systems. And like you said, it doesn't feel like it should be something where it's like, well, I mean, I could just hold off because I can get it. But I know we were just talking to someone the other day that was mentioning that they were planning on waiting for Metroid to come out on the Switch 1, assuming that Retro does a good job at optimizing it for that system.
Yeah, interesting.
But it is just curious to me because I feel like on the launch year of a system, it's really important to give people a good incentive to, you know, make that upgrade and get the system. They did that definitely with Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Definitely.
And while I still think Mario Kart World is a really good game, maybe there's parts of it that I wish were a little bit different, but they do have 2 games at the very minimum under their belt thus far.
Yeah.
But it just seems like for a holiday season, for a pure Switch 2 exclusive game, that's like a big system seller, I'm scratching my head a little bit. I like Splatoon Raiders. It obviously Splatoon is a big Nintendo what do you call it, like flagship IP.
Yeah, right.
But Splatoon Raiders is kind of like a departure from that series a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's unclear how well. I'm sure it's still going to do well, but is it going to be selling game busters for a holiday season?
We still don't know.
Is Splatoon Raiders this year or next year?
I thought it was this year. Maybe it's next year. Maybe it is next year. But which once again that would just
lessen the
further
impact
add on to my
more.
point. Yeah, about what and then we have Kirby Air Riders, which I'm very excited about. I think it's going to be a really fun game because I do think Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube was a really good game, but it's once again it's not that like system seller. At least I don't think. It's a spin-off of Kirby. I would love for them to prove me wrong and for the game to end up being extremely commercially successful, but thus far I don't know. But we also haven't really seen too much of that game. But like you said, it could be that they're really leaning into third parties for the holiday season. I just don't know if that's the best play necessarily.
Right. No, especially for like saying like this was a very successful launch year. I don't think so. But I think you also kind of have to remember Switch had an advantage in a lot of ways. It came out earlier. It came out in March, not June. So that's a lot of time. And also it pulled from the Wii U library, which hardly anyone played. So that almost felt like new games coming out. Like for me, I never got Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. So Deluxe was my Mario Kart 8 game. So it almost felt like there was just a lot more because I didn't play those Wii U games. And so
and Breath of the Wild was a dual release as well.
And then I mean the diversity too, like Xenoblade getting a big fat JRPG was also really, really nice. And you know, I think this year we also should include Octopath Zero. That's another one that is coming to by the end of the year. So there you go. You get a little bit of a JRPG fix there.
And like you were saying, Hollow Knight Silksong is a big one too. Like whenever it comes to third parties, and it's Hades not like they don't have third parties.
Yeah.
I would go as far as to say third parties is at the moment one of the Switch 2's biggest appeals.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't expect to see Madden just like
exactly.
topping charts. I did not expect
wait,
it.
Isn't Call of Duty supposed to come?
Supposed to. According to lawsuits, it's supposed to.
And I've talked about it on my channel and the podcast before too. One of the biggest things I think is like a must play for the Switch 2 is Fast Fusion, which was a launch day game. But I mean, obviously that's not like a holiday, like, you know, million unit seller game, but that's another example of a game that is a Switch 2 exclusive.
Another notch on the belt.
I think does a good job at showcasing what you are getting out of the system going forward.
Yeah,
I think the holiday game is definitely Pokemon Legends ZA. I mean, it's releasing in October, so did Mario Odyssey, and though in the Switch 1's case, in December they did have Xenoblade 2, but I mean, come on. I like Xenoblade, but I think Mario. Everyone has Mario in their eyes, and I think that's the case for Pokemon.
All right, let's tread lightly with the Xenoblade fandom.
It did put Xenoblade on the map. I think. Like I think not a lot of people really understood it before. It was my first Xenoblade game, and I liked the series because of it. So.
Oh, that is the only Xenoblade. Well, and X, but I skipped 2. I'm a crazy person. I watched all the cutscenes of 2 to get the story.
I did that with 1, so I'm with you. I've done it, but for 1.
We do have a few questions for this week. So thankfully these aren't too like beefy. I don't think it's gonna take up too much time since I think this is the longest we've gone before getting into questions. So hopefully we don't go too far over time or anything. First is a friend of the channel, Blu-ray, who asks, what is your favorite Nintendo spin-off game? So I'm guessing, does this just mean a game that's a spin-off of a Nintendo property? Is that what this is asking?
Yeah, I might need a little clarification.
Yeah, I'm betting so. Like I don't know, for example, Super Kirby Fighters, that'd be a spin-off of Kirby.
Yeah, but is it asking like what is our favorite spin-off series or a specific game? Like what are we going
here?
By
Let's go with game.
Okay, I got mine. It took me a bit to find one, but I got one.
I'll let you go first.
Purely nostalgia pick, but it's Pokepark Pikachu's Adventure on the Wii.
That is a crazy pull.
Yeah. So I was trying to think of all these different. I was like Link's crossbow training. No, I was there's like a lot I was trying to think of. If like a Mario sports game counts, which I feel like it doesn't because it's kind of its own like series. I would have picked Mario Baseball 100%. But I think that's too much of its own thing. So yeah, I'm gonna go Pokepark.
If I had to choose, probably Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. I have my problems with that game, but I do really love the voice acting.
Isn't Hyrule Warriors
the cutscenes in general?
Isn't that like its own series, kind of like Mario Sports a little bit though?
I consider it a spin-off.
Yeah, I think it's a spin-off of Zelda.
It is primarily a Zelda game.
Yeah, no, I mean like it is a spin-off of Zelda, but I guess I was going by what Tri said.
It is also kind
like,
of its own
they have multiple games within like one subset.
Oh, okay. You're running like one offshoot game.
Yeah, that's a valid answer. I like the Hyrule Warriors games a lot. My answer, not to steal Tri's approach of going for a Pokemon spin-off, but I'm gonna lock in Pokemon Snap.
Oh,
which one?
Nice.
I guess just the original. That's the only one I've played. But because it's only the original and the remake on Switch, right? There's no other ones. So the original on Nintendo 64. I just think it's a really cute way of giving the player a way to learn like basic composition skills with like photography.
Cool.
And
yeah,
even as someone that's never been like a huge Pokemon person, it is really fun to just kind of like be on a rail like transportation system where you're taking pictures of like different Pokemon in the wild. It's cute. So that's mine.
Yep. Pokemon's a great example for having just a bunch of spin-offs.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, you also got like Pokemon Puzzle League on the 64 too. So there's a lot that you could go with.
I actually love Pokemon Trozy, I think is what it was called on the phone. I used to be addicted to that game. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it's great. It's a super niche, almost Bejeweled type game, Candy Crush, but I loved it.
That sounds fun.
Anyway, we can move on.
Carson asks, who would you cast... Damn it, this question.
Oh yeah.
Who would you cast as Beetle in the Zelda movie?
Wow.
Donovan, who was it that we were talking about casting as Beetle before?
Did we say Danny DeVito?
I literally
it was Danny
That's
what
I was gonna go.
I was thinking Danny DeVito in my mind. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right, that's pretty good.
But I've got a backup answer. I've got a backup answer.
All right, who's your backup answer?
It's Michael Cera.
I'm just imagine.
Yeah.
I just think Michael Cera selling.
They need to shrink him.
It reminds me of him selling like the pineapple stuff or whatever in Arrested Development. Like I feel like he's just the perfect awkward. Like I don't know. I'd love to see.
I watched a Michael Cera movie yesterday. It was called Sacramento. I think I liked War of the Worlds better.
Crazy.
Which is a crazy statement.
Who is the not Michael Cera, the other actor that was from Superbad?
What's his name? What's his name?
Muhammad.
Well,
No, I know him.
Not the one that played McLovin, but the other character.
Seth MacFarlane.
I always want to call him Seth Rogen, but it's not.
Not Seth Rogen.
They're so similar, but
whatever the actor's
he's in
name is,
Moneyball. I know,
yeah. He would be a funny Beatles.
He'd be good.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. There you go.
War Dogs,
I can't believe I forgot that.
Jonah Hill's great.
All right, and then the final question is from one of my friends, Coy. He asks, "Who is your dream guest character into Mario Kart?"
This one's easy. Kirby.
You're picking a Nintendo IP.
Yeah, I was imagining that we were going like completely impossible, like it would never happen.
Oh,
all right. I want John Wick.
Wow. John Wick. Okay, well, Donovan, we were talking about the Power Rangers in Fortnite last episode. I'm gonna go with the Axum Rangers from Super Mario RPG. It may be a Nintendo IP, but I think that's off the wall enough to be like a crazy pick. So I'll go with all 5 of the Axum.
Wait! I changed my mind. Optimus Prime.
he's himself.
Can I just go? I'll just go Michael Bay. Actually, as
nice, nice.
Try. Who's your answer?
I'm gonna go the Knight from Hollow Knight. I feel like he's a cutesy little guy, and it'd be cool to see him in 3D. And I think he kind of works for the art style. So,
well, there you go. You got 1 out of the 3 hosts actually answering the question. So hopefully that's satisfying to you. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for staying. Not even just this episode, but all 8 thus far. And once again, also, thank you, Try, for coming on the podcast. So for anyone out there that maybe is unfamiliar with what you do on YouTube, where can people find you, not only on YouTube, but also just on the internet as well?
Yeah, so mainly YouTube, at Try Nintendo is the handle. Name is just going to be Try. And you should see, a little triangle guy, little rainbow gradient behind him. So I upload every single week, talking about games I like, usually incorporating some kind of design lesson in there somewhere. So I'm also on Twitter at Try Nintendo as well, and then Twitch at Try Nintendo as well. I don't stream super often. I have the last 2 weeks, but I'm trying to maybe shift to like a once or twice a month just because I'm very busy. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That would be really funny if you made videos on games that you don't like. Like, can you imagine?
Like
I'm going to this week. Yeah.
yeah. I guess you are. But we literally talked about how you're about to.
Yeah.
So Donovan, where can the people find you?
Mm-hmm. You can find me at the DonovanDud on YouTube, where I yap about video games and what have you, Nintendo stuff. Also interact with me primarily on Discord, the Nintendo Boys, and I'm also on Twitter and Instagram. Where can we find you?
Okay, I was gonna say, Try, did you want to shout out your Discord server also? I forgot.
Oh yeah, I have a Discord as well. It's the Shape Squad. If you just go to like my channel, any of my videos, my description will have it, or like my links in my channel description.
All right, and as for me, I'm MrDean44 on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky as well, and then I have a Discord server called the Dean Kingdom, just your typical Discord server type of stuff. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Hope to see you in the next episode. And yeah, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for having us, Try.
Yeah.
Or thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
That is a crazy statement.